What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So Tesla just released a new update where full self-driving can stop at stoplights and stop signs automatically by itself. I actually made a video about this not too long ago where I tested to see what would full self-driving do at stop sign and stop lines before this feature was even rolled out. And we noticed that sometimes it would show you a warning on the screen that there was a stop sign, but it definitely wouldn't stop unless there was a car in front of you. So check out that video if you're interested in seeing what happens before the feature rolled out with full self-driving. Today, I'm in downtown LA and we're heading to the grocery store. We're gonna go through the new feature, go through the settings, and then test it in downtown Los Angeles traffic. Let's get into the video. Thanks for watching another video guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I picked up this Tesla Model 3 last year and I make videos about my experience. If you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. So to activate the stoplight and stop sign control beta, you go to settings, then go to autopilot, and then right under in the autopilot section, there's a traffic light and stop sign control beta. Just like everything else with autopilot, auto steer, navigate, and summons, it's all beta. So we just go ahead and so to actually enable traffic light and stop sign control beta, you have to have downloaded the latest maps. And I actually haven't downloaded it yet. So I just connected to my hotspot. So we're gonna actually wait until it downloads the new map update. All right, so my navigation data finally updated. That update actually took a really long time. It was probably a huge navigation data file that just took a long time to update. So you do have to update your navigation data before you can turn on the traffic light and stop sign control beta. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and flip it on. Oh wow, so this is a pretty long, I guess, disclaimer or I guess how-to or explanation of what traffic light and stop sign control beta is. So it looks like the stoplight and stop sign control is going to slow down or stop at any stoplight or stop signs. You will have to use stock confirmation to go through the intersections. This will not stop at every single intersection, so you do have to take over. You do have to pay attention and take over at any point. The maximum set speed while using the auto steer is limited to the speed limit of the road, and the feature may be conservative and slow down often at first. And of course, just like autopilot or full self-driving, this is probably going to get better as the system learns itself. All right, so I guess it's enabled. So let's go out and drive in downtown LA to see how it works in the city. All right, so this is my first time trying this feature. So let's go find some stoplights. Sorry, it's definitely going to be a little bit bumpy in the city because the roads are pretty horrendous here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a right. So I wonder, do you have to be on autopilot to have this feature function? So we're coming through a stop sign right now. It's a green light, so I don't think it's going to do anything. But there's a red light in front of us, as you can see. Let's see. No, it just turned green, so we haven't run into a stoplight or stop sign just yet. I don't even know if there's any stop signs in the city. I guess I have to figure out where one is. There's probably some in the other part of the city, but let's see if we can find any stop signs. There's definitely a bunch of stop lights in the city, but let's see if we can find any stop signs in the city to test out this beta feature that just came out. I'm gonna see if I actually like it, if I'm actually gonna use it as well. There's definitely gotta be a stop sign in some of these back roads. All right, so here comes the stop sign, going about 20 miles an hour. Whoa. Bicyclist, and okay, so I wonder, do you have to be on autopilot? I think you do. Which is kind of interesting because aren't you not supposed to be on autopilot on the roads? So I guess, how does this work? Okay, that was very interesting. So I threw it on autopilot. So it's on autopilot right now. It's coming through the stoplight, and that last one, it just braked completely and then didn't really give me an indication on what to do. So it just passed that one. So use the accelerator or the gear stock to continue. So it's coming up on this stoplight here. It's green, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, so if I press the accelerator button, it basically gives it this, that's enough to give it the signal to proceed through the light, even though the light was green. So I guess it needs confirmation between whether it's green or red to kind of go through the light. So now we're stopping. It is a red light and we're just stopping completely. And That's cool. It tells you the distance from where you're at to where you're gonna stop at the traffic light, and then it comes to a stop. So right now on the visualization screen, it shows a red line, which is basically where we're stopped at for the stoplight. It shows the red light as well, and we're just at a complete stop. So it just turned green. I guess you have to give it the, whoa, that's sick. So I just basically tapped on the acceleration, and because the cruise control was set to 29 miles an hour, it just completely just went through and accelerated as quick as it possibly could to 29. Okay, so now looks like we've come into some sort of accident here. So I'm just gonna take over autopilot again and then turn to the right. That was really weird. So it seems like once you're in autopilot, where it's coming to an intersection where it doesn't necessarily know to continue or not, you have to hit the accelerator and it will go through that intersection. I wonder what's the difference between hitting the accelerator or hitting the drive stalk to see if there's any difference at all. So now we're back in autopilot. It's stopping at the traffic control in 200 feet. It is a green light. So, okay, so I just hit the autopilot or the drive stalk down and it just continued through the light. So it's definitely very interesting. Looks like it just slowed down for that pedestrian right there. Okay, it's freaking out a little bit because the lines of the lane were a little bit fuzzy there, and so now it's just completely come to a stop. So my initial thoughts so far, it's pretty jerky, but that's probably because I'm just getting used to it right now and I'm not used to what the flow is supposed to be. So it just turned green. I tapped on the accelerator. This time it's not accelerating as quickly to 25 miles an hour, which is good. Last time it just really accelerated from like 0 to 20 pretty quickly. Looks like it's going to stop at this light. The visualization screen is telling me it's stopping in 200 feet, and I'll just tap on the accelerator and it just goes through. So that's interesting. Whether it's red or green, it looks like it's, for the most part, going to stop at the intersection, but at a red, it 100% stops. I feel like there's been a green in the past where it stopped already, but it looks like right now, ooh, that's a little bit harsh. A little bit of heavy braking right there, but it has stopped there. So I do know there's a stop sign if I make a right at this next intersection. So let's go ahead and try that to see if there's really any difference. So far I kind of like the feature. It's definitely pretty eye-opening to see what full self-driving might be, the capabilities of full self-driving might be in the future once it's actually feature complete, because there's supposedly one day we're going to be able to just sit in the car and it's going to be able to navigate through the city all on its own, which would be really cool. So there's two ways to pass an intersection and to give the autopilot system the green light to pass that intersection. You can either tap on the accelerator or you hit the drive stalk down, and then that gives it the confirmation to go through the intersection. I accidentally hit it up thinking that it would go through the intersection, and it actually just threw it out of autopilot completely. So that doesn't work if you push the stalk up instead of down. Okay, so there's a couple lights in front of us. Let's go ahead and enable the autopilot or the full self-driving. This one is turning into a red, so it's going to come to a stop. It's kind of smooth with coming to a stop, just like how in autopilot, when it kind of hugs the lane on the outer lane if you're on your turn. So if you're making a right turn, it hugs the left side of that lane. It's kind of the same idea. It goes all the way to the intersection and kind of brakes really heavily at the end, right when you hit the line of the intersection. So it's very similar. It's not the smoothest, but it does the job, I guess. So right there, as you can see, it turned green. I tapped the accelerator and the acceleration went from 0 to 20 fairly quickly, and then from 20 to 25 kind of slowly. So that was a little bit weird. Okay, so it does not like this intersection at all. That was basically double crosswalks on both sides of that intersection, and there was a pedestrian on the left side, but they weren't in the intersection at all. They were like right about to jump into the crosswalk, and autopilot just completely freaked out, said grab onto the steering wheel, and kicked it out of autopilot. That was pretty interesting. I guess autopilot does not like those type of intersections where it's double crosswalk. Okay, so I found a stop sign here, but we're going to go past it. There's another stop sign coming up. Let's see if we can get autopilot to engage. Okay, so we're in autopilot. It's recognized the stop sign already, and just like the traffic light, it's just going to slow down to a complete stop. I wonder, can you bypass it though? So not unlike the traffic light, you can't bypass it, but it does come to a stop and then kind of continue through. So let's try that again. I want to see what happens if you come to the stop and then what does it do? So right here, coming up with another stop sign, it's detected it, 300 feet, 200 feet, stopping in 100 feet. It's come to a stop. We're completely out of stop right now. There's no cars to the right or left. I'm gonna hit the accelerator and it's kind of inching forward and then it just goes through. Okay, so pretty interesting there. So now we've gone past that and there's another stop sign. So I wonder what's gonna happen here because this is the stop sign. It's kind of hanging to the left, but there's no intersection in front of us. Okay, so basically it just showed up on the screen, autopilot, unable to proceed, please take over. So because it was a dead end, you couldn't go straight. So that was pretty much it. So yeah, stop sign, autopilot stopping or full self-driving stopping at the stop signs is a little bit different than the stop lights. It's gonna stop regardless, no matter what, and then you give it confirmation to go through the intersection with the accelerator. Okay, so for the last and final test, we're gonna go through probably the busiest parts of downtown LA, which I guess would be kind of Broadway Street, and to see how the stop sign or the auto stop feature handles these intersections. So we're in autopilot. There's a crosswalk. It wants to stop, so let's go ahead and go through because it is a green light. Okay, so there's some pedestrians just kind of casually just walking, so pretty heavy braking there. It's recognized the intersection and it shows you a red line to which basically it's going to stop at, and then you can kind of just hit the acceleration and kind of have it go through. All right, there's another crosswalk right here. It's not necessarily a stop light, but it is an area where autopilot will want to stop. So I just hit the confirmation for it to go through. Now we're passing 6th Street. It is turning yellow, so we'll just let it come to a red light. So what's cool is it's still on autopilot right now as it's completely stopped. And once it's, I guess, a green light, it will start to accelerate. But I am curious, it is a red light right now and I haven't really hit the accelerator to go. I wonder what happens if I hit the accelerator right now. There's a little bit of gap in front of me, so there's no pedestrians as well. I do want to test it, so let's see what happens. Okay, so it accelerated a little bit. I just hit the accelerator. It accelerated a little bit and then it just kind of came right back to a complete stop. So right here, there's another pedestrian crosswalk. It's coming to a stop. I do have to stop. So I'll let it stop and then now I hit the acceleration and it's going through the light. Here is another crosswalk. It's come to a complete stop. And so I accelerated a little bit and it will go. So it's kind of convenient. So you don't really have to kind of make the steering adjustments throughout when you're in the city like this. You do still have to monitor a lot. So I'm not sure it gives you that much convenience to kind of just letting the car drive by itself. But it's still a nifty feature for it to kind of just continue through intersections without you having to brake on your own, but you still have to give it that command signal to accelerate. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna end it right here. Hit that like if you enjoyed this video and comment below your thoughts on the stop and go acceleration between stoplight and stop signs beta. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you have full self-driving or you're thinking about getting full self-driving, if this is a factor that pushes you over the edge to kind of spend that now $7,000 to get full self-driving. All right, guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.